There was a time in my life when the challenges I faced seemed too overwhelming. I suffered one setback after another and seriously thought about just giving up. Why shouldn't I? It'd be easier, wouldn't it? But before I did, I looked back and I remembered why I had started moving in this direction in the first place. And realised that this little setback wasn't worth throwing away everything I had achieved so far. I'm not a huge fan of Jim Carrey, but I must admit I really love this quote. It hits at the heart of where I am now and why I'm so different to how I was. I used to put so much effort into doing what I thought I should be doing. It was really hard work, and looking back, I got very little reward out of it. In fact, I was stressed, tired, cranky, and I became really ill living that way. In fact, the life that I thought I was striving for nearly took mine away. We're brought up in a society where we think we need to fit into a certain way of living, a certain mould. We are considered successful if we have a reasonable income in a mainstream job, family, a home, all of those things. If we fit outside that version of normal, we come across a lot of negativity and rejection. This fear of rejection from others, especially those we care about, is really scary. But when I thought about it, there are two sides to this coin. What do you fear the most? Is it rejection from others, or your rejection of yourself? For me, it was rejection from others that scared me the most. So I continued to struggle on without realising the damage I was doing to myself by not being my authentic self. And my dreams stayed just that, dreams. I looked at a life I wanted and I thought, that life's never possible. But I was faced with the possibility of losing everything, and this forced me to take a look at myself. I looked at all the things I wanted to do, everything I wanted to achieve. I was grateful for everything I had achieved and accomplished. But I was mourning the me that I wished I could be and the time that I wish I still had to be that person. I was lucky enough to be given a second chance, and I promised myself that I would stop wishing and I would just do it. What would I have to lose? The next time I was faced with the end, I wanted to look back and look on my life with no regrets. I mean, I may not make it to where I want to be and what my ideal life is, but if I've given it my all, if I've tried really hard to live my dreams, then how can I be disappointed? And in that moment, I realised my dreams have become my goals. I had made the conscious choice to start giving my dreams a chance. I've had setbacks, I've considered quitting, I've questioned myself, self-doubt has crept in, and at times I felt like a total fool. But when I look at it, the effort and the journey I have been on since making that decision has been amazing. The reward I've gotten for actually believing in myself and my dreams far outweighs any of the struggle along the way. When I look at the alternatives, when I think this is way too hard, why am I doing this? When I look at the end results of taking an alternative, I won't be as fulfilled, as happy, as satisfied. I won't be able to look at the end result without some form of regret. So if I give up on my dreams and if I take that other alternative, I know that I'm not being true to myself. I'm not saying that I'm not going to make a left turn or a right turn or even take a detour. If I need to change directions, there's nothing stopping me. There is nothing wrong with not making it straight out of the gate or admitting I no longer have that certain goal in mind. It's all part of the journey. It's all part of me growing as a person. Any decision that I make is right, and I won't regret it as long as that decision comes from my true self, as long as I am making it because it's a decision that I want to make. If you look at your favourite artist or your favourite author, how many times were they rejected and told their dreams were silly or unrealistic? But they were still successful when so many others were not. Was it because they had something that no one else did? No. They just learnt to never give up on their dreams. I'm afraid of failure. I'm afraid of mistakes. But you know what? That's all a part of life. Making a mistake is. No one is perfect. It's what makes us human. It's how we look at these setbacks, and that's what I call them now. Not failures, not mistakes, just setbacks. It's how we look at these setbacks that determines the end result and what we get out of them. The key is to make sure we learn from them. Look at history. No great inventor or entrepreneur ever has got to their first goal the first try. Or no one I can think of anyway. And one of the attributes that we admire most about these people is the fact that they never gave up. They never gave up on their dream. They continued after each setback and kept moving, learning from any mistakes they made first. They didn't listen to people telling them they were silly, stupid, or wrong. They continued forward and looked at their mistakes as lessons, not a reason to give up. I mean, look at the world we have today. What would it be like if everyone who failed gave up? Would we still consider the world flat? Would hearing that we've got a cold be the same as hearing that we've got a terminal illness? Would you even be sitting here listening to me speak about these things? We owe a lot in society to those people who dared to do what was in their hearts. They dared to believe in their dreams. If you look at what you're passionate about, what is it? What is it that you're most passionate about? How do you feel when you are doing that one thing that just means the world to you? How different could your life be if you were living that passion every single day? Why can't we take that same feeling and that same passion and put it into everything we do? We just can't. If we don't have the desire to be doing what we're doing, how can we be passionate about it? It's like going around living your life without purpose or conviction. It's dull. It's that passion we feel for something that makes it worthwhile and makes it worth doing, and that's what gives us the biggest reward at the end. I mean, there's no denying that you will feel grateful and be absolutely ecstatic if you get a compliment from your boss for doing a great presentation. But on the flip side, how would you feel if you finally put the finishing touches on that little project you've been working on in your spare time for years? How would those two feelings compare? And if you could choose one to feel all the time, which one would you choose? Why do people tell us our dreams are silly? Is it because they honestly believe they are? Or is it their own internal belief that their own dreams are not possible? Is it easier to believe that they're not achieving their dreams if everyone else isn't achieving theirs? I've learned the hardest step is the first step out of our comfort zone, but it's also the most rewarding. Fear, competition, self-doubt, old lessons that are ingrained hold a lot of people back and can turn some of your biggest supporters and friends into your dream enemy. I won't lie to you, I used to be one of those people and I fell right into that category. But now I love the feeling I get from proving people wrong. It's a constant motivator that I use. Instead of worrying about what people think and buying into all the negativity that they bring, I use it to help push me forward, especially on those days where sometimes, your self-doubt can be a little louder. I use that negativity to my advantage to help push me forward. After all, I look at it, it's my dream. And why would I buy into it if I didn't really believe it was true? If I didn't believe it was possible, why did I start in the first place? After all, we're all entrepreneurs. No two lives are lived the same. No one has lived your life before. One of the things that all the greats have had in common is that they dared to dream. It is an essential part of what made them great. Everything they achieved started with a single dream. So why don't you give your dreams a chance today?